Racing down the bullshit now. They're going all wrong! Forward! The bulldozer! Bone Trash on the outside. Two drivers going for the real estate. 97 almost up on his wheel. And Bone Trash on. Fourth and fifth position as they go in. Big crash. Unbelievable. Beyond 40 opens up the inside. Ricky Harden. And he gets thrown on the Walmart. He saves it. Battling off. Thomas gets a running dive into the end. Can he get him? Bobby George! Good evening and welcome to Hot Shoe TV's presentation of the Pretend Racing Online Super Showdown series live from the famous Milwaukee Mile. The Milwaukee Mile began construction in 1899, opened for racing in 1903 as the Wisconsin State Fair Park Speedway. It's hosted major events from the NTT IndyCar Series, Indy Lights, NASCAR Gander Outdoor Trucks, NASCAR Xfinity Series, USAC Stock Car Series, ASA Midwest, ASA Late Model Series, and tonight it hosts the inaugural running of the Dick Trickle 99+1 presented by Dizzy Beer, division of Dizzyverse Corporation. We're excited to have you with us. Tonight we will be running timed qualifying with an inverted heat race. Looks like we should have a total of 3 heat races. Judging by our car count, it does not look like we will have a consolation race, and it will be followed with a 100 lap feature. Now, before we get ready to go, I would ask everybody at home to honor America with Hot Shoe TV with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you, everyone, and we are just getting ready to roll into our qualifying session. I am your host for the evening, the Hot Shoe himself, Nicholas Chambrone. Our cars are pulling out now onto the track for our time trials. Let's take a look down on the speedway. Here we have the number 8 car. Looks like it is the Milwaukee Tools machine of Thomas George, the first one to roll out onto the speedway. Thomas, very strong the past couple nights of racing action with Pretend Racing Online. Always running strong. A lot of we saw him battle for the win at Atlanta. We saw him race side by side for I believe it was 3rd place with Reed Rundle at Gateway Road Course. Let's see what Thomas can do tonight on his qualifying lap. Here he is down the backstretch at the Milwaukee Mile. Very tricky track to get a hold of. Turns 1 and 2, much different corner entries. And it's going to be very key for the racers to keep it down on the inside as you see Thomas come off turn 4 on that Dodge Challenger. Let's see what type of time he can lay down. And to the top of the boards he goes with a 29.73. Thomas George, fast time so far. Let's see if he can go faster on his second lap. And that entry to turn 3, a little bit more compacted than the entry into turn 1. You really want to try to drive it in deep there. And here he comes across the line. That 29.73 will hold. Let's see if we look a little bit farther back in the field. We have Greg Gable out on the speedway, crosses the line. It's like 8th place fast time so far for Gable's Tables Machine, the G2 Racing number 96 of Greg Gable. You take a look. Looks like we can jump in here to Reed Rundle. Reed is one that is always quick out here. That number 43 car, we saw him have a lot of close battles as well the past couple weeks. Let's see what he can do on this qualifying time. First lap, to 29.88. 7th place currently for Reed Rundle. And to the top of the boards he goes. 29.64 seconds for Reed Rundle, number 143. It is Just a Fake Racer, Hales Corners Speedway, Buddy's Garage Machine of Reed Rundle. Another fast car rolling out of the track now. The number 21, Shane Sunscreen, Hot Shoe TV, Toyota Camry. That's Nick Cohan in the number 21 car. Let's see what Nick Cohan can get done. He had the quickest time, actually tied with his teammate, Anthony DeBarro, for quick time in the practice session this evening. Let's see what Nick Cohan can do. He comes and takes the green flag down in the turn 1. Very wide, sweeping entry in the turn 1. You want to bury it down on the white line. Little diamonding action there for Nick Cohan in the 21 car. Rides it right out to the wall, down the backstretch as he sends it off now into turns 3 and 4. Right down to the white line again, right where you want to be at Milwaukee. Very tight exit, hits the rumble strips a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't mess up his speed. Here he comes off the corner exit. Can he beat Reed Rundle for fast time? To the top of the boards he goes. Oh, Nick Cohan, 29.55. Top of the boards. Second lap now, he's rolling down the backstretch. Let's see if he can go any faster on this one. At 21 car. A lot of bad luck so far this season in the super late models here with Pretend Racing Online, but maybe tonight will be a little bit different up there with a fast timer right now. And across the line, just a hair quicker. He goes faster even with a 29.52. Very good lap time for Nick Cohan. Let's take a look now as we wait for our qualifying session to end at some of our track facts. This is a 1.00 on the dot mile speedway, the Milwaukee Mile. Very warm temperatures today, a temperature of 86 degrees Fahrenheit. I talked to some of the drivers before the race today. They said conditions very, very loose off with the car and very slick overall at this speedway. Very hot here in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. And it looks like our first group is now rolling out onto the track for our first heat race. Let's see who we have now lining up for our first heat race of the day. Starting on the pole. Starting on the pole in the number 22 car. That is the Aviator Alex, Boeing, Beechcraft, Ford Mustang, the Screamin' Reno Sim Sport machine of Alex Reno. Starting in second, the number 43, Goon Ganja, Goon Auto Parts, and Goon Brakes, Toyota Supra, Hondo Longmire. Starting in third, that is the number 56, PMS Racing, Revival Motoring, Circle Jerks Podcast, Summit Racing Equipment, Chevy Camaro, Norm Pelletier. Starting in fourth, the number 21, Dizzy Motorsport, Shane Sunscreen, Hot Shoe, TV, Toyota Supra. That is Nick Cohan. And starting in fifth, the number 33, that is Ty Leclerc. Looks like Ty Leclerc unable to make the call. Alex Reno bringing the field down now for the start of the race. Holding, green flag is out. Hondo Longmire with the big run up top coming out of turns 1 and 2. Down the backstretch, he gets the early lead on Alex Reno as Norm Pelletier in the 56 really sends it into the corner there on the inside of the 22. Alex Reno slides just briefly up the track, opens the door. Oh, loose off Nick Cohan. Norm Pelletier loose off the crack. As we said in the opening, very slick conditions out here for the drivers of this 8-lap heat race. Hondo Longmire leads, followed by Norm Pelletier. And followed closely behind of Nick Cohan. Big slip up there. You saw Norm Pelletier gets around Hondo Longmire, who runs very high. Take a look, a little slip up there by Nick Cohan. He hit the rumble strips as Norm Pelletier leads them down the backstretch. Norm Pelletier that lap with the fastest lap time in the number 56 machine. But Nick Cohan trying to keep him honest. He's running very, very closely. Let's see if he can make up any time here as he drives off into the corner hard. By halfway, this time by 4 down, 4 to go. As Nick Cohan now, I think he's picking up some pace in that number 21 Shane Sunscreen machine. Yes, about 0.2 faster that lap. There he is, Nick Cohan in the 21. You see him closing in on the Circle Jerks podcast number 56. As he gets closer now, he's going to start getting some of that wake. Very fast track here. Big mile-long speedway for these super late models. The trick is going to be, can Nick Cohan get to the inside as Norm Pelletier gets loose? That might open up the door. Unfortunately, the 21 car unable to capitalize on that. You saw that big slip up. Not able to capitalize, though. And the question is Nick Cohan just comfortable riding here behind the number 56, Norm Pelletier? Remember, Nick Cohan was the fastest timer. He's got a fast machine tonight, but that line up a little hot, too high. Slips off the corner. That's bringing Hondo Longmire back into the action. We got our 2 to go signal from the flagman. Very close battle up front here between Norm Pelletier and the 21 car of Nick Cohan. Coming by now, you see Hondo Longmire slips up the track a little bit. He was closing, but that's not going to help him anymore. Lost a lot of time there. But final lap for Norm Pelletier. Down the backstretch. Nick Cohan cannot get any closer than that car length distance. He tries to send it in there. You saw a little bobble. Norm Pelletier up the track a little bit. Does that open the door coming off of 4? Looks like Nick Cohan cannot get there. Both squirrely out of the corner and across the line. Our second heat race now is beginning the grid. Starting on the pole, the number 00 PMS Racing at Snoop Doggy Don, Don's Dildo Depot, Toyota Camry. That's Donnie Runkle Jr. Starting in second position, in the number 96 G Squared Racing, Gable's Tables, Nick and Nicky's Ice Cream, Chambrone's Chicken Dinner, Chevy Camaro. That is the double G, Gregory Gable. Starting in third, the number 86 Dizzy Motorsports, Dizzy Railways, Dizzy Coin, DZ Cola, Nick and Nicky's Ice Cream. Number 86, that is John Borst. And starting from fourth, the number 143 Goon Motorsports, Just a Fake Racer, Harrell's Corner Speedway, Buddy's Garage, Chevy Camaro, Reed Rundle. And starting in our final position, that is the number 17 of Gael Brooks, the Steel Horse Racing Machine. Field now rolling through turns 3 and 4 onto the front stretch. And the green flag is out. Big jump there for Don Runkle and John Borst on the inside lane. Unfortunately, Gregory Gable, we jumped back here. We went from second and dropped back. Looks like Greg just got a little too high there. You see him high again as Gael Brooks slips underneath in that Ford Mustang number 17, and he's off the corner and away. Don Runkle Jr. in the number 00 machine leads the way so far. We got John Borst in second, but here comes Reed Rundle closing in on the number 86. Reed Rundle very fast, so we saw him qualify well. As John Borst a little loose off the corner, and this was the same position we saw Nick Cohan get in a little bit earlier in the first heat race. Just very difficult to get underneath the cars in front of you. And we see now Reed Rundle tries. There he goes. Filling the gap that John Borst left open. Reed Rundle rolls it down on the inside. Slips by the number 86. Reed Rundle moves up into second place. Reed Rundle trying to close up that gap to Don Runkle Jr. 4 down, 4 to go. Faster the previous lap by about 0.2 of a second, and that's what he has in it. If he can continue to do that, Reed Rundle will have a chance to catch Don Runkle Jr. in the 00, but Don Runkle picked up a lot of pace lately in these super late models. He's been out there practicing his hardest. See Don Runkle taking the very far inside, and now Reed Rundle gets to the high line. That might open the door for John Borst, who's trying to take advantage of it. You saw John Boers buried down there on the rumble strips. A little evasive action, but now Reed Rundle's in that high line. Can he make the high line work? Very difficult to make the high line work here at the Milwaukee Mile. Very bottom dominant track, as now we got a 4-car battle for the lead. Gael Brooks is reeled in with 2 laps to go. 2 down, 2 to go. Here we go. Side by side now for the lead. Don Runkle Jr., Reed Rundle, side by side. John Boers thinking about making it 3 wide. Will Mr. Generosity send it? In the middle, on the bottom, on the top. What will he do? Reed Rundle really drives it in hard there. He opens up the gap, though. Can he get off the corner? Don Runkle starts to make the comeback as Gael Brooks slips on the back as we come to the white flag. Reed Rundle now has the advantage. Will he drive it in deep? Still leaves the inside open if Don Runkle can get there. But Reed Rundle using the high line as now he hits the wall on the backstretch. Doors open for the 0-0. Don Runkle Jr. Still the 143 is high. Don Runkle slips off the track. John Boers is behind him. Can Boers get around him for second? No. Reed Rundle with the big victory. Wow, wow, and wow. What an incredible heat race that one was. Just an incredible battle. As now we have heat race number 3 rolling out onto the speedway. Starting on the pole in the number 14 SRX Sun RV Resorts Camping World Fram Air Filters machine. That's Jared Michaud. Starting in second place, the number 6 Goon Motorsports DJ3 Extra Life Team Toyota Supra Josh Cox. Starting from third position, the Long Lane Racing Buick Roadmaster Miller & Hutch Custom Cabinetry Dottie's Family Market Hot Shoes Chips. That is the 05 at Casey Miller. Starting in fourth, that is the number 8 car. Tonight sponsored by Milwaukee Tools. That Chevy Camaro was driven by Thomas George. In our fifth place starter, the number 97 Coyote Turbo Sawmill Chevy Camaro. That's Aaron Beaver. Pace car takes a hard left turn off the track. And we're green. Jared Michaud slow going up through the gears. That really opens up the gap for Josh Cox. Uses that second place position to his advantage. Drives around everybody. I see Thomas George there. Right behind him, third place, Casey Miller, as we watch our top 3. First time for them, down into turn 3. Keeping it right along that line now, Casey Miller back there in third place. Very big dirt racer. And you see he kind of used the skills there as he slipped coming off of turn 4. Casey really trying hard to learn this asphalt driving, learn the super late models. Very skilled driver behind the wheel, but we got to look back up front. Thomas George gets a little run on the number 6 of Josh Cox down the inside. There he goes. Sends it up the inside there. Thomas George slips up the track. A little bit of contact between Thomas George and Josh Cox. I don't think that was intentional on Thomas George's part. Just drove it in hard there. Slipped up into the number 6. He'll offer a little apology on that one, but that opened the door for Casey Miller in the 05. That Buick Roadmaster, very quick, with the wood paneling and all on the side. Moves up in the second position. Casey again a little sideways off the corner as now we watch our leader, Thomas George. I want to go back as we have our field fairly spread out here. Let's see if we can jump back. Watch that pass for the lead. Here's Josh Cox into the corner. Thomas George really drives it in hard. Let's watch that for that contact. You see, yes, there was in fact contact. Thomas George just drove it in hard there, and it just shuffled the 6 up the track just enough that it opened the door for Casey Miller. A little bit further back in the pack, we have Aaron Beaver in the number 97 Coyote machine. He started from 5th position, gained a spot. Just trying to hold his own here, move up slowly through the track, and back in 5th, our pole sitter, Jared Michaud. Just slightly off the pace tonight in that Tony Stewart lookalike SRX painted machine. 3 laps to go now, though. Casey Miller about 2/10 slower than Thomas George. Unless Thomas slips up in the Milwaukee Power Tools car, I don't think Casey's going to be able to catch him, unfortunately. But we'll keep an eye on what happens. There we see 2 laps to go now in our 3rd heat race. 2 to go. That time, Casey Miller slightly faster than Thomas George, but does he have enough of time to catch him with 1 lap to the go? That Miller and Hutch Custom Cabinetry 05. Big slip up for Casey, really dirt tracking off the corner. Is he driving a sprint car or a super late model out there? Unfortunately, that's going to be the end of this heat race for Casey Miller. He keeps the car rolling, but he ain't going to gain anything on Thomas George. Absolutely dominating performance for the number 8 machine in this heat race. Thomas George very, very quick. As he comes out of turns 3 and 4 here at the legendary Milwaukee Mile, Thomas George takes our heat race number 3 victory. Followed by Casey Miller, Josh Cox, Aaron Beaver, and Jared Michaud. And finally, this should be our 4th and final heat race of tonight's festivities. Starting on the pole, in the number 27, Dizzy Motorsports, Anthony's Hog Control, DeBarro Sliders, Dizzy Beer, Toyota Camry, that's Anthony DeBarro. Starting from 2nd position, that is the number 91 Goon Motorsports Dizzy Dozer machine. That is Jeff the Bulldozer Coburn. Starting from 4th, in the number 74 Circle Jerks Podcast Esports Team Revival Motoring Circle Jerks Podcast Chevy Camaro, that is Dan the Man Walker. And starting from 4th position, in a special Ghostbusters paint scheme this evening, the number 16 Paul's to the Wall, Paul Nelson. Field rolling off for the start of the race. Big jump for the number 27, Anthony DeBarro. Field now rounds, turns 3, 1 and 2. Anthony DeBarro off to this with a strong start here. Very, very quick. We did not see Anthony run in the time trials, so very good starting position here for Anthony DeBarro. We got Jeff Coburn riding strongly in 2nd, but Dan Walker trying to gain every little bit he can in that Circle Jerks Podcast machine. Paul Nelson tucked right up behind them. But the Dizzy Bulldozer, the number 91, we saw him have a lot of contact, especially with the number 21 car, Nick Cohan. That's going to be something to watch in the feature tonight, if that plays a role. It's like a little slip up there by Anthony DeBarro as he came onto the backstretch. Really closed up the field. Again, we see a slip up. That's going to open the door for Jeff Coburn. The Dizzy Bulldozer himself sends it down the inside. There's Anthony DeBarro up high, losing time. Not where he wants to be in that number 27 car. The inside is open for Jeff Coburn. As they battle down into turn 3, Coburn has a preferred line. He slips up the track a little bit. No contact, though, with the number 27. Anthony DeBarro continues to slide up the track. Very unfortunate for him. He was off to such a strong start. And now we see Dan Walker in the number 74 Circle Jerks podcast, Revival Motoring Camaro. Slips by the number 27. It's Anthony Hog Control Machine at number 27. Very concerned about the hog problem that is starting to infest states of New Jersey and Pennsylvania and throughout the Northeast and elsewhere in the United States. But now here we have a battle for the lead. Looks like that is Dan Walker closing the gap. He was about a tenth faster that previous lap on Jeff Coburn. To go now for our leaders. Dan Walker just 100th of a second quicker. It's going to be very tough to gain an advantage with just that little amount of time being up on the 91. But he really drives it in hard there. You see him send it in. Will he use the bumper? You know, Dan Walker, usually a very clean racer out here. So I don't think he'll use the bumper, but hey, when these guys get going, but now with that, Coburn really opens up the door there. You see him slide high. Can Dan Walker get the throttle down? No, he does use the bumper. Little bump that, but that gave Coburn a big shot down the backstretch. And Jeff Coburn in the Dizzy Motorsports Bulldozer machine. That number 91 car takes it off of turn 4. To win heat race number 4 here at the Dizzy Beer. What a race that was. As now we are gridding for the consolation race. This will set the order for the back portion of our starting lineup. Let's take a look at our grid starting on the pole. That is the number 17 Steel Horse Racing machine of Gael Brooks. Starting from second place should be the 1010s Racing number 33. Sponsored by J&E Welding Fabrication. That's Ty Leclerc. Starting in third position, the number 27 Dizzy Motorsports Anthony's Hall Control DeBarro Sliders. You saw him very high and off the track there in the previous heat race. That's Anthony DeBarro. Starting on, and it looks like Ty Leclerc did not make the call, so that'll pull up the outside row. Aaron Beaver and the number 97 Kyoto Turbo Sawmill Chevy Camaro will move up to second starting position. Starting from fifth will be the number 96. The G Squared Racing, Gable's Tables, Nick and Nicky's Ice Cream, Chambrone's Chicken Dinner, Chevy Camaro of Gregory Gable. Starting in sixth, the number 22, that is the Aviator Alex Boeing Beechcraft Ford Mustang of Alex Reno. And starting from seventh, Jared Michaud in the Tony Stewart SRX lookalike car. Let's go, let's take a look here. Let's see if we can jump down on board here with Anthony DeBarro starting from third position. Let's watch along here on the start. See, big slip up there in the front of it for the number 17. Anthony DeBarro tries to go to the high line. If he can roll around him. Trying to get the power down. You can hear the throttle control. Very slick track today, especially when you hit those rumble strips like you saw Anthony DeBarro do. Buries it down on the inside 17 car. Gael Brooks opens up the gap. As they come now to complete lap 1 of this 10-lap consolation race. 27 has the advantage on the inside. Gael Brooks way wide. I don't think that was intentional. It didn't look like it. We take a look back a little bit further. Greg Gable with a strong third place run right now. He's got about a 2-second gap to Alex Reno in 4th, Jared Michaud in 5th, and Aaron Beaver in 6th position. But right now, we got to keep our eyes on that number 27, Anthony's Hog Control machine. 3 down, 7 to go. Anthony, always a quick driver out here. A little bit of problems there in his heat race. Don't know if he was just trying to conserve his stuff, what was happening, but looks like he's picked back up the pace here in this consolation race now. The question is going to be, can he keep that going? You see a very high entry there in the turns 1 and 2. Now what we'll see here, especially on these longer runs in the feature, is drivers are really going to give themselves some room entering the corner. Keeping the tires cool are going to end up being very key for this race. Very old track surface here at Milwaukee. You're going to get tire wear. You're going to get heat buildup, especially with those long sweeping corners that we have here. So you may see drivers start to move around. You see there Anthony running a little bit of a diamond line where he enters the corner low, slides up in the middle, and then cuts it back low, driving off the corner. That's a technique often used by drivers to really get a good run down the straightaway. And 1 and 2, it looks like he used that. 3 and 4, he did not. So maybe experimenting with lines here as he has about a 1.5-second lead. A little bit further back in the pack here, Greg Gable, strong run for that number 96 car so far. A couple bad luck races for the Gables Tables machine. He had some slip-ups happen, spins, coming out of the corner, had some contact with some folks, and actually had to take a week off for the G Squared racing team to get that machine fixed back up. But strong run right now for Greg Gable. You watch him, 3 laps to go now, back up front, no change in conditions. Anthony DeBarro has opened up our gap here to Gael Brooks, who we just see slip come off of turn 2, and he looks like slight contact with the wall. But he's holding a steady about a 2-second gap back to Greg Gable, so we don't expect Greg to be able to close that gap in the amount of time that we have left here. Two laps to go now for our leader, Anthony DeBarro. White flag is out on our starter stand. Anthony DeBarro. A very strong run so far today. In this consolation race, we saw some problems in the heat race. He's got to tune back up, though, and is back underway for that number 27 car. And now here he is. He comes off of turn 4. Anthony DeBarro takes the checkered flag Second place is Gael Brooks. Third place with a strong run, Gregory Gable. Fourth for Alex Reno. It's like fifth for Aaron Beaver as he crosses the line, and Jared Michaud, who is taking the finish backwards. A little bit of an incident there. As now we are getting ready to move into our feature race. As we're going to have a slight warm-up section here. Let's see if we could get a word with one of our drivers. Let's see if we can get a word here with Greg Gable. We saw have a strong run in that consolation race. Greg Gable, this is Nick in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I do, Nick. Nice to hear from you.
Nice to hear from you too, Greg. We were watching you there in that consolation race. It looked like you had the car very well under control. How'd it feel out there?
You know, over in the 96 team, we got to work a little bit on our restarts. I'm struggling to get out of the marble up top, but once I get in the groove, we're able to run good laps and keep a good rhythm. That's the goal for the main race tonight.
Excellent. Well, we're glad to hear it, Greg, and we wish you the best of luck out there tonight. We'll be keeping an eye on you.
All right, bud. Thank you.
So if we get a word with another driver here, Hondo Longmire. Let's see if we can get a word with old Hondo. Hondo, we saw him with a decent performance in the heat race. Hondo Longmire, this is Nick in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, go ahead, Nick. How's it going?
I'm doing great tonight, Hondo. We just wanted to check in, see how the car was feeling for you tonight, that old Goon Motorsports number 43.
It's going a little good. I got a little areas I'm working on, trying to get turn 1 and 2 down a little bit, and 3 and 4 is giving me some problems, but we'll work it out, I imagine. Work my way up to the front like normal.
Excellent. Well, we'll be keeping an eye on you from tonight, and we wish you the best of luck out there.
Thanks, Nick. Have a good broadcast.
And let's see if we get one final word here with Thomas George. Thomas George, this is Nick in the booth. Do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Thomas, it looked like you had the best car out there of anybody in not just your heat race, but all the heat races. You weren't the fastest timer tonight, but it looked like you had good race pace. How's it feel out there?
It feels pretty comfortable, honestly. I like it. It's a little loose off the corners, but it's fairly neutral. I think it's going to be a good race of driver talent. Get to see guys, comers and goers, figure out who's going to burn their tires off quicker. But, we got some tires when we need them. But overall, I like the way the track feels tonight.
Excellent. Yeah, it looks like the sun's starting to set here. Maybe the track will cool off a little bit, grip it up a little bit, and we wish you the best of luck tonight. We'll be watching.
All right, appreciate it, and thank you, Milwaukee Tools, for coming on board this week at the famous Milwaukee Mile.
Let's take another look here. Let's look at our weather conditions right now. We do see 88 degrees with a track temperature 85 degrees. Now, at the start of qualifying, air temperature was 88 degrees when we opened our broadcast. So temperature is starting to fall out here tonight. Something key to watch. If that continues to fall, as Thomas was speaking to us just before, track conditions going to get a little bit tackier. The track cools off. Tires are going to be more gripped up and ready to rock and roll. So that's going to be something to watch tonight and really see what can happen. Take another look now at our race information. This is the Dick Trickle 99+1 presented by Dizzy Beer, a division of Dizzyverse Corporation. And we are live here with the Pretend Racing Online Super Showdown Series. This race, one of the Pretend Racing Online directors, John Borst, one of his favorite races, and we're running it after one of his favorite drivers of all time, Dick Trickle, just a legend in the Wisconsin, Minnesota, upper Midwest area of asphalt short track racing. He has hundreds and hundreds, if not into the thousands of wins, racing cars very similar to what we see out on the track this evening with Pretend Racing Online. So very special to have that name on our race tonight, and just a tribute for us to try to honor Dick Trickle, the famous Dick Trickle. And we are starting to take the grid. Very exciting. Let's take a look. Starting on the pole in the number 56 Circle Jerks Podcast Revival Motoring Machine, that is Norm Pelletier. Starting in second, the number 143, the Hales Corners Speedway Chevy Camaro, Reed Rundle. Starting from third, the Milwaukee's Power Tools number 8, that is Thomas George. Starting from fourth, the Dizzy Bulldozer number 91, Jeff Coburn. Starting from fifth position, the number 21 of Nick Cohan. Starting from sixth, the number 00, that's Don Runkle Jr. In eighth, the number 74, Circle Jerks Podcast Machine, Daniel Walker. Starting in seventh, I missed Casey Miller in the number 7 in the seventh position. Starting in ninth, Hondo Longmower. 10th, John Borst. 12th, Josh Cox Paul Nelson in the number 12 car. Jeff Cobra, and Anthony DeBarro, Guy Brooks, Greg Gable, Alex Reno, Aaron Beaver, Jeremy Shaw, and Tyler Clerk unable to make the call. Got to look back up front now. Our field coming around turns 3 and 4 for the start. Ladies and gentlemen, fans of all ages, it's showtime. And sorry, not taking the green. We are not taking the green. We are not taking the green that lap. My apologies, I thought we were taking the green. We'll try it on the next one. Our field officials called off the start of that one as we catch back up to the pace car. Yes, now we see the pace car lights are out. Pace car lights are now out. Jeff Coburn, Thomas George leaving us to start this race. Looks like we had some field shuffling around there. That's what that was, getting the field reset. Ladies and gentlemen, fans of all ages, it's showtime on Hot Shoe TV. Field is off in the turns 1 and 2 now. We see Thomas George eking out ahead of Jeff Coburn. A little bit farther back, Reed Rundle and Casey Miller having a battle for 3rd and 4th. Thomas George opens up the gap now on the backstretch to Jeff Coburn. Can Thomas George get a drive off as we see our battle for 3rd is heating up? A little bit further in the pack, we got 3 wide. Hondo Longmire, Dan Walker, Don Runkle Jr., and that Norm Pelletier is sending it up the inside to make it 3 wide. Oh, and contact! The 74 Hondo Longmire unfortunately spins out the number 74 of Daniel Walker. Wow. Oh, that might have been started. Let's look at the tape here. Here we see Norm Pelletier makes it 3 wide, and that may have spooked Hondo Longmire a little bit. Slips up the track, just makes slight contact with the 74. Hard contact with the left front into the outside wall for Dan Walker. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a different point of view here. Very unfortunate for the 74 of Dan Walker. We're going to see him come into the pits. And let's see if we could catch a glimpse of this from our turns 1 and 2 cam. There it is. You see hard contact into the wall for Dan Walker. Very unfortunate. Not intentional by Honda Longmire by any means, as now we follow Dan Walker into the pits. Very tough break for that to happen this early on in the race. We see a bunch of cars into the pit lane. Possibly fuel strategy, I'm thinking, for these teams. John Bors, Paul Nelson, Gael Brooks, Anthony DeBarro, they all started out back. Very smart here. Very, very smart. Trying to fill up, top it off, and see, can they make it the rest of the way? I don't think they can, but they're trying to make that stop for fuel as small as possible. Let's take a look at our rundown here. We got first caution of the day out, Thomas George, followed by Jeff Coburn, Reed Rundle, Casey Miller, Nick Cohan, Norm Pelletier, Honda Longmire, who you saw was involved in that first incident. He may drop to the back for that. Don Runkle Jr., Josh Cox, Greg Gable, Alex Reno, Aaron Beaver, Jeremy Shaw, John Bors, Paul Nelson, Gael Brooks, Anthony DeBarro, Daniel Walker, and Ty Leclerc unable to make the call tonight. Field is lined up single file. Pace car is off. Coming to the green flag. And green, green, green. Thomas George, big jump. One battle to watch here. Reed Rundle, very quick in these cars. He may be able to get around Jeff Coburn, make short work of him, and then the battle between Thomas George and Reed Rundle would be on. We've seen that battle many times before. 7 laps into this 100th lap Dick Trickle Memorial Race. We got one car moving through the track. Through the field here, John Borst and that 27 car, Anthony DeBarro, making up quite a bit of positions from the start of the race. A lot of action back here as Anthony DeBarro and Anthony's hog control machine sends it up the inside of John Borst. John Borst gives him plenty of room early on. Mr. Generosity giving him the spot for 11th. And Anthony DeBarro slips by. That's going to be one to keep our eye on. Another close battle. Right here, Nick Cohan. And now, look at this battle for the lead. Look at our battle for the lead. Thomas George, Jeff Coburn, Reed Rundle, Casey Miller, Nick Cohan, and Norm Pelletier slipping into the fray. As we said before this race, this might be a battle of track conditions. This could be Thomas George saving his stuff, letting the other guys run hard, catch up to him. Just preserve that car length or two advantage that he has. that'll allow him to keep those tires cool, save them as the race progresses. Let's take a look at our weather again. Temperature has dropped another degree. We got to keep an eye on that. We need to keep an eye on that as we progress through this race, as we see the shadows are getting longer. The sun is starting to set here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We see a slip up there for Jeff Coburn. He gets a little bit high. Unfortunately, just out of our frame there as we were watching it. Then Jeff Coburn opened up the gap there for Reed Rundle and Casey Miller. Let's see if we can take a look back at what happened. You see Jeff Coburn just gets too high as he picks back up the gas, opens the door for Reed Rundle and Casey Miller to slip on by. Two guys to watch here, very smart racers here. The 21 Shane Sunscreen Hot Shoe TV 21 car of Nick Cohan and the 56 Circle Jerks podcast car of Norm Pelletier. Very smart racers and may very well be saving their stuff. Let's see if we can hop on board here. Norm Pelletier, this is we're in our driver cam tonight. You see the leaders up ahead there. And so difficult when you can see the leaders like that. You just want to get up on the gas and drive right through these guys and get up to them. Well, of course, you're not always able to do that. Sometimes you need to be conservative. Like we see Norm and Nick Cohan being right now, saving your stuff. Let the race come to you. Let these other guys burn up their tires. You know, we're 15 laps into this race now, about 8 laps into this run. Guys are going to start losing time, as there we see it. We may have seen it there. Jeff Coburn slipped up the track, opens up the door for Nick Cohan to make the pass on the inside, and now Norm Pelletier sends it up the inside as well. We saw those slip-ups happen. We saw those slip-ups happen for Jeff Coburn, and that may be what has opened up the gap here for these guys. You see, it looks like Coburn kind of struggling now, as our leaders now have been single-filed out. Ones to watch back here. We have the 27 car, Anthony DeBarro. As he's making his way, he was started way at the back of that. Remember, Anthony DeBarro, one of the several drivers that come in and take fuel there. As we see him closing on Hondo Longmire. Hondo running a little too high. Maybe he got overheated those tires as well. Maybe those goon brakes are starting to fail. We saw that be a story at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Anthony sends it up the inside there. Hondo giving him plenty of room at the early stages of this race, 18 laps in. They battle off, and Hondo gets very high there. Anthony slips back. That's up to 7th position for Anthony. He now has about, I want to say, a two and a half second gap up to Jeff Coburn. Back up front now, Thomas George leading Reed Rundle. Reed has slowly closed that gap back in. He's gotten to his bumper now. But This is the same position we saw many drivers in the heat race in. They're able to get within the car length, but they cannot get on the inside. Although we did see Reed Rundle pass on the high line in his heat race. That was the only time we saw as Reed Rundle slaps the wall. Hard contact with the wall for Reed Rundle as Casey Miller slaps by. The door is still open there for Nick Cohan, keeping it right down along the inside line. There you see Nick Cohan rolls it by Reed Rundle after that big slap of the wall. 2 spots lost. Let's back up, see if we can catch a glimpse of what happened there. You see Reed Rundle slow and Casey Miller able to roll on by. Now a running position that opened up the gap there for Thomas George. He's opened up the gap by about a second or so over the nearest competitor. 22 laps into this race, Casey Miller in the 0-5 leads. The number 21 car, Nick Cohan, for second and third positions. Again, Nick Cohan being very patient. They are taking positions as they open, not trying to force anything. And you see that here with Casey Miller. You know, there's going to be some opportunities for Nick to really drive it hard on the inside. And I think Nick is just trying to play it smart here. He's a second and a half back at Thomas George. Just trying to slowly roll through the track there. You see him get close to Casey Miller and drop off. And you see that Casey Miller running high. And that's what's going to cause him an issue at some point. He continues to slip up high like that, and that's going to be a problem. We got a pass back here. Anthony DeBarro up to 6th position as he drives around Jeff Coburn, who is falling off the pace, unfortunately. Jeff Coburn now hoping for a caution flag to come out to get 4 fresh Hoosier tires on the Dizzy Motorsports Bulldozer machine. Our battle now here for third. Nick Cohan is able to get around Casey Miller as we have a battle here. Reed Rundle also slipping by Casey Miller, who he lost a spot to just several laps ago. Does that open up the door for Norm Pelletier in the 56 as well? It's like Casey's able to close the door there. At least for now. Let's take a look and see how Nick Cohan got that position. Looks like he just got to the inside of Casey Miller. A little bit of a better run out of turns 3 and 4. Casey gives him plenty of room as they enter the corner, but he opens the door for Reed Rundle in the process. Top couple cars now are spread out. We're a quarter of the way done with this race. Thomas George leads. And caution, there's a caution on the speedway. Looks like Jeff Coburn has had an incident. Let's take a look at what happened. There we see Jeff Coburn. He comes off turns 4, just gets it loose, spins it around. Oh! Oh my goodness gracious. He was just about able to keep it off of everything. If we take a look again, here's Jeff Coburn. Comes out of turn 4. You see the car just kick sideways and loose. He tries to save it, almost saves it, and unfortunately makes hard contact with the inside concrete barrier. That's going to be heavy damage for the Dizzy Bulldozer machine. Now, something to watch here. We are a quarter way through this race. What are these drivers going to do? Are you going to take tires if you're Thomas George? Are you willing to give up the lead to take tires? Other guys may stay out. What will Nick Cohan do from second? What will Reed Rundle do from third? And I think I know what Casey Miller in the 0-5 is going to do. He's going to take 4 fresh Mr. Feelgoods out there because he needs it. And the whole field now rolling into the pit lane. Led by Thomas George, Nick Cohan. All these guys making their way to the spots. There's Anthony DeBarro from last to 6th as he's pitting. There we see Anthony tire. The car is jacked up, getting right side tires. Let's see what the leader's doing. Right sides as well. Will these guys get Nick Cohan, Anthony DeBarro? Looks like they took 2 tires only. We see Thomas George getting 4 tires. Norm Pelletier getting 4 tires. 2 tires for Reed Rundle. Lots of action here as the drivers race off at pit road. Mixture of strategies. 2 and 4 tires. This is going to be something that's going to be quite interesting to watch. We're going to have a change of positions here. Alex Reno looks like he stayed out on the track. Will he come into the pits late, though? Maybe he just wanted the pit lane to be clear. But Alex Reno has assumed the lead. And I believe, I'll wait for the drivers to get to the line to check our timing and scoring. But yeah, yes he is. That's Anthony DeBarro up to second position. He may have a big advantage here on the restart with Alex Reno on old tires. Nick Cohan in third. Reed Rundle in fourth. Then look at that. You got Hondo Longmire up to fifth position. And Thomas George, our leader before that caution, is back to sixth. So this really mixed up the field here. Mixed strategies. 2 tires for the 27, 21, and 143 of Reed Rundle. 43 car Honda Longmire most likely has 2 tires. And we know from Thomas George and Thomas George on back, 4 tires. So let's take a look here at what happens on this restart as field now rounding turns 3 and 4. Remember, Alex Reno, no tires on that machine as the pace car pulls off. Field is underway. Here they are off into turn 1. Anthony DeBar already has the lead. Alex Reno, look at him fall off as guys looking for spots. They're 3 wide. As they race around trying to find positions, trying to find a spot. We see almost 4 wide in the back of the pack as they try to get off the corner. That was back there by Don Runkle Jr. Look at this, Hornet's Nest. 4 wide into the corner. Oh my goodness gracious. John Force is on the apron trying to make something happen. Oh my goodness. Wow, wow, and wow. Only at Pretend Racing Online will you see 4 wide super late model action at the Milwaukee Mile. Going to be interesting as again we see 3 wide back there. Alex Reno, those 2 tires. Unfortunately not working out for Alex Reno, but that may come into play later. He'll have 4 fresh tires and these other guys may not. We see Dan Walker back here in 13th. He had that damage and it looks like the car is still running strong. If we jump back up front, Anthony DeBarro has about a 1-second lead on Reed Rundle. And behind him, we see Nick Cohan and Thomas George has made up a couple positions. He's up to 4 since the restart. A third of the way complete here at the Milwaukee Mile with Pretend Racing Online on Hot Shoe TV. Close battle here. We see a position change. Norm Pelletier on the inside of Hondo Longmire. Can Hondo get a run there coming off the corner? No, and almost clear. Not clear yet, not clear yet. The 56 Circle Jerks podcast of Norm Pelletier has moved up into 5th place. Lots of action on that restart. Lots of interesting things happening. But I think now our field's starting to get a little spread out. We have some good battles, maybe a little bit further back on the track. Here's Don Runkle and Gael Brooks. Don Runkle now on the inside of number 17 Ford Mustang of Gael Brooks. Can he get something though? We saw Don get stuck down there on the bottom before and he just could not get the run off the corner. That was back in the heat race when Reed Rundle was on the outside of him, unfortunately. And you kind of saw it again there. Don just unable to get the runs out of the corner that he needs. A big slip up there. A little bit of a battle here. Paul Nelson, Aaron Beaver, Daniel Walker packed in there. That's 13th, 14th. And Dan Walker, a little bit of contact there, it looked like, with Aaron Beaver, and that allows Greg Gable in the 96 car to scoot by. Greg Gable having the top 15 run tonight so far. Keeping that car under him. That's what we'd like to see out of that G-Squared racing car. Let's take a look now at our field rundown. Here's our leader right now, the number 27. That is Anthony DeBarro. Strong run, started farther back in the pack, and is now leading this race. In second position, the 143. There you see him, Reed Rundle from Oxford, Michigan. Mueller Sales and Service, PF Flyers Race Cars, Premium Fabricating, Buddy's Racing Equipment Car. Reed Rundle, always strong in these cars, very fast competitor. There's Nick Cohan, the number 21 car, the Shane Sunscreen Machine, hailing from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, another town with a famous speedway. Thomas George in the number 8 car, that's the Richmond, Virginia's own, driving the Milwaukee Power Tools car tonight. And in 5th, we have Norm Pelletier, who lives by the motto, raise hell and praise Dale. Norm, one of the 3 Musketeers on the Circle Jerks podcast. Find that wherever you listen to your podcast. As now, looks like we have a battle back here. Honda Longmire, John Bors, Casey Miller, a battle here. This is 6th, 7th, and 8th swapping positions, as those 2 tires do not appear to be working out, as we also have a pass up for 2nd. What's happened to Reed Rundle? Reed Rundle way off the pace, dropping off. Let's try to take a look at what happened. As Nick Cohan, looks like Reed Rundle just pulls over. What has happened to Reed Rundle that he allowed those drivers to slip by? Not sure. It looks like the 143 still under power. I'm not sure what happened that caused Reed Rundle to pull over and let Nick Cohan and Thomas George by. I do not understand why that happened, but we'll keep an eye, see what happens. We take a look now back at this battle. Here's our battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. There's John Bors from Minneapolis, Minnesota, running in 6th position. And in 7th, we have the 05 at Casey Miller, who starts to close up that gap if John Bors slips up in that Dizzy Coin machine. Hondo Longmire in the number 43 car is in 8th. Josh Cox in 9th as he has a battle with Gael Brooks. Gael Brooks slips by and is now our 9th place competitor. Hailing from Tucson, Arizona in that number 17. There we see Josh Cox, he's our 10th place competitor. A little bit farther back in the action now, Paul Nelson, the number 16 Ghostbusters car, holding strong in 11th with Don Runkle Jr. and the Don's Dildo Depot number 00. Right behind him, the number 97 car of Aaron Beaver. And the number 74 of Daniel Walker at that hard contact. He's up to 14th position. Greg Gable keeping a nice solid run in that number 96 Gable's Tables machine. Alex Reno in 16th on that no tire strategy. Hopefully the caution comes out soon for him. He's going to be in danger of being lapped if he needs to keep running around like that. Jared Michaud in the number 14 car now is in 17th. And Jeff Coburn off the speedway is our 18th and final competitor in today's action. Back up front now, we watch Anthony DeBarro. He's got a 2.5 second lead, almost 3 second lead now on Nick Cohan. And the question is, can Nick Cohan close up that gap, or is he going to be relegated to running behind Anthony DeBarro? Of course, that's not going to be ideal if that occurs. But we'll keep an eye, we'll monitor the lap time, see what's happening. Look, field fairly spread out now. We see as we pace back through the field. All right, as you're on Paul Nelson 11th, Josh Cox just in front of him. It does appear that Nick Cohan's slightly faster than Anthony DeBarro at this stage. It's just one thing we need to keep an eye on here as we approach halfway point of this race. There's Anthony DeBarro starting to get into lap traffic now. You see Jared Michaud saying nice and high for the leaders, very cordial. Sun continues to set here. And let's take a look at our weather. Still holding at 84 degrees. Kind of surprising. You'd think by now that temperature would start to drop. Let's take a look here. What kind of speed are we getting here? As we enter turn one, we're watching Anthony DeBarro. We saw him hit 150 there. Here he comes down the backstretch. 140, 150 he is topping out at. Field, as you can see from our starter stand, very spread out at this point in time. Anthony DeBarro laps the number 22 car of Alex Reno. Unfortunately, that no tire strategy did not pay off for Alex Reno, and soon he will probably need some fuel in that machine. We see now Nick Cohan in number 21 Shane Sunscreen. Special paint scheme this evening. Unfortunately, not as fast as Anthony DeBarro, who has about a 1/10 of a second advantage on Nick Cohan on that last lap. Thomas George in third, with Reed Rundle close by in fourth. A lot of great battles out of Thomas George and Reed Rundle so far this season. So that may be one to keep an eye on. Let's take a look. Looks like Thomas George also hitting that 150 mile per hour mark entering the corner. We'll watch it here as he drives around. Let's see what we can find as he sails it off here in the turns 3 and 4. We're watching his speedometer. You just saw it there, 149. That was a mile per hour slower than our leader, Anthony DeBarro. So what that is telling us is Anthony DeBarro a little bit stronger coming off the corner, having a little bit more pace down the backstretch, and that's just going to give him that little bit of advantage. It's now at this point in the race that we're going to start to see these tires really come into play. Remember, Anthony DeBarro and Nick Cohan both only took 2 right side tires. Had about 30 laps on those left side tires. Thomas George, our third place competitor, 4 tires. And that may be making a difference here with his battle with Reed Rundle, those 4 tires. You know, as you continue to drive, those 4 fresh tires gonna make a difference. Looks like we got a good battle back here. If we look back farther in the pack, between Don Runkle Jr. and Daniel Walker, this is for 12th and 13th position. And we'll watch this battle here. Look at Dan Walker, Don Runkle Jr. Very tight battle as Aaron Beaver is back there, as well as Greg Gable. So we're talking 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th. A little bit farther back in the pack. But these guys having one heck of a battle. And we'll jump a little bit further. They're still running side by side. And we still see that battle is on back here between Don Runkle and Daniel Walker. Best battle on the track right here. And that's brought in. Look who that's brought into the picture. The 00 there of Don Runkle Jr. and Dan Walker running side by side brings the 97 of Aaron Beaver and the 96 car of Greg Gable. Let's give Greg Gable a shout out. We've said it before, lots of early incidents on track here for Greg Gable in these races so far. And he's so far 60 laps in, 40 to go. Greg Gable still running strong in the Gable's tables. Chevy Camaro. Looks like we have a pass for 8th position. We'll take a look. Honda Longmire and Gael Brooks. Honda gives plenty of room to Gael Brooks. You saw him really open up that spot there. Very courteous. Very nice of him. As we're going to go back now to this battle. Looks like Dan Walker able to slip back by Don Runkle Jr. And Don Runkle now sends it up the inside. Backs out of it. Thought better of it. We saw Dan Walker get turned on ready on a similar move earlier in the race. Very respectful of Don Runkle to back out of that. And now it looks like Dan Walker really starting to pull away. Don Runkle, maybe his tires are going away as he starts to fall into the clutches of the 97 of Aaron Beaver and the 96 car of Greg Gable. Something to keep an eye on here by about a second or so. Nick Cohan has closed up that gap to Anthony DeBarro. That was almost at one point a 3-second advantage, and it is now down about 1.7, 1.8 seconds here. Oh, we got a slip up here, it looks like. What happened? Aaron Beaver goes to the inside of Don Runkle Jr. Heck of a battle continues on back here. You saw Don Runkle slip up, open up the gap to Aaron Beaver, and now they're running nose to tail. Don Runkle pushes up the track. Does he have anything to get back by Aaron Beaver? This is for 13th position now. Don Runkle falling off the pace, unfortunately, after we saw he had a very strong heat race run, similar there to what we saw with Dan Walker, where Runkle just backed out of it a little bit, gave him some extra room. Aaron Beaver with a power pass there on Don Runkle Jr., running a little bit high than I would normally expect. But you see Don Runkle's car really starting to go away, and the next one, he's slipping into the rungs of Gregory Gable in that 96 car. One other thing to keep an eye on, these guys about 5 seconds back from getting lapped. And that could make things interesting for our leaders, Anthony DeBarro, Nick Cohan, and Thomas George. Oh, we see Jeremy Shaw all over the place. Jeremy Shaw almost spins it out, gets it gathered back up. Boy, he almost wrecked right in front of Greg Gable there. That could have been terrible for the G Squared Racing Team. As Jeremy Shaw now, Anthony DeBarro, you see him close up the gap. Needs to be very careful here as he drives by that number 14. And yes, he's able to pass him cleanly, but I think that allowed Nick Cohan to gain another extra tenth or so. Now this is what it's going to come down to. If Anthony DeBarro struggles through the lap traffic that's just ahead, and we mentioned it, he has 3 or 4 cars within 5 or so seconds in front of him. So before the end of this race, he's definitely going to catch those cars. And what is that going to allow Nick Cohan to do in the number 21 machine? Nick Cohan, we see he's closing up the gap now. It's down to 1.5 seconds. Slowly but surely, Nick Cohan is reeling in that number 27 car of Anthony DeBarro. Now the tail end of our field here, we're looking at him, Greg Gable, and just ahead, Don Runkle Jr. It looks like Alex Reno has peeled off and entered the pit lane, needing to make that fuel stop and get some fresh tires, and he is going to be hopeful for that. Unfortunately, he did not get a caution like he had wanted to, but let's see what Greg Gable can do here. He's running 15th. Can he get around Don Runkle? We saw Don Runkle really struggling with some other competitors. Keep in mind, too, and let's see if we can jump aboard here. The number 27, Anthony DeBarro. We see those guys just ahead. You can see the loud traffic up in the distance, about a half a straightaway ahead. Greg Gable, who looks like he's starting to make a pass there on Don Runkle. Unfortunately, Runkle gets a good run off that top side. And slowly but surely, Nick Cohan, another tenth or two, gaining on Anthony DeBarro, this Shane sunscreen machine. Does he have anything? We said it at the beginning of this race. Nick Cohan was saving his stuff. He's 1.2 seconds back of the 27 Anthony's Hall-controlled Toyota Camry. Those cars, the 27 and 21, prepared in the same shop. They are equal equipment. It's going to come down to our driver skill here with 28 laps to go. Lap traffic getting ready to play a role. We're about 2 to 3 seconds away. Even closer now, you see Greg Gable just in front of our leader, Anthony DeBarro. This is where it is going to come. You see 3 cars lined up. Aaron Beaver, Don Runkle, Greg Gable lined up just in front of Anthony DeBarro and Nick Cohan. Let's see if there's any struggle here getting by. You see Greg staying low. Is he giving Anthony the line? Yes, he is, but that's going to... Ooh, Greg Gable! Oh, he gets loose! But it's okay. He keeps it rolling. Get it rolling, Greg. Get it rolling, buddy. Taking it cautious there, unfortunately for Greg. What does that do, though, for Anthony DeBarro and Nick Cohan? Nick Cohan really closed up the gap there. He's got it down to 0.7 of a second, Nick Cohan. There it is. You see the gap. You see the 27 car. The pink car just in front. He gained a lot of time on that. Unfortunate for Greg. And unfortunate for Anthony DeBarro, about 1/10 of a second there. We see the lead down to 0.6 of a second. Nick Cohan from Nazareth, Pennsylvania. 26 laps to reel in the 27 car of Anthony DeBarro. What can he do? Thomas George about 5 seconds off of these two. You see Anthony's tail start to get a little bit sideways. That time by. Again, Nick Cohan about 0.05 of a second faster. 0.5 faster for Nick Cohan. Lap cars now are getting racy in front of them. We're up here on the cockpit of Anthony DeBarro now. You see him Side by side almost in front of that. It's really going to open up the gap. Don Runkle trying to stay out of the way, but also trying to hold on to the lead lap. Anthony DeBarro drives it down onto the inside now. Tucked up behind the 97. What now? Nick Cohan needs to make quick work of the 00. He is there. He is there. 0.3 of a second back. Now we watch Nick Cohan close up, and he gets to the inside of the 97 too. Excellent set of corners for Nick Cohan, getting around these lap traffic quicker as Don Runkle gets sideways. That might bring out a caution. All that hard work. No, caution is on the speedway. Caution is on the speedway. Don Runkle Jr. goes around. Let's take a look at what happened. Trying to stay on the lead lap and catch that lucky dog just in case, and you see he just runs wide. Spins out. And doesn't hit anything, which is good for Don Runkle Jr. Tough break, though, for the 21 car of Nick Cohan. Oh man, he was closing up the gap slowly. Then they hit the lap traffic, and that accelerated the 21 right up to the 27's rear bumper. And I think he may have had pace to get around, but unfortunately the caution has come out. We are 78, 79 laps into this race, and now this is where it gets interesting, folks. What do you do? We saw 2 tires work before. Does that mean these guys need 4 tires now? Do they have tires left in the pits? Gonna be something to watch here. I believe everybody has another set of tires in the pits. We need to watch closely on what these leaders do. The 27 and 21, the 8 of Thomas George, the 143 of Reed Rundle, who we missed that in all the lap traffic action. Let's take a look here. What does Anthony DeBarro do? He stops. Does he take any tires, or is it just fuel? There we see the right sides go up. It's like Nick Cohan's got his right sides up. Thomas George got his right sides up. You hear it come out of the pits. Nick Cohan gets the jump on him. Nick Cohan got the jump on the 27 of DeBarro. Norm Pelletier, 3rd out of the pit lane. Gael Brooks, Casey Miller, John Borst, Thomas George, Honda Longmire, Josh Cox, Paul Nelson, Daniel Walker. And one thing to look for, look at what is up front. You see it, folks. The 143 car of Reed Rundle. Not pitting. He has not pitted. Reed Rundle in the 143 car. No, now he's coming in the pits. Now he is coming in the pits. Reed Rundle is coming in the pits, so that's gonna allow Nick Cohan to inherit the lead. $20 laps to go, it looks like. And we see our leaderboard. These pit stops have really shuffled up our leaderboard. Nick Cohan and Anthony DeBarro. Remember, no, just the right side tires on those machines. Norm Pelletier, I believe. Norm Pelletier, Gael Brooks, John Borst, 2 tires as well. Alex Reno, you see him in front of the 21. Alex Reno is a lap down. He'll get the wave around the pace car. That'll put Alex Reno back, it looks like, 1 lap down. We have something to watch here. Our first 12 competitors are on the lead lap. 13th, 14th, 15th are 1 lap down. 16th, 17th are 2 laps down. And Jeff Coburn well off the pace as We are restarting this race. There will be 18 laps to go as we watch Nick Cohan and Anthony DeBarro, the Dizzy Motorsports teammates, come to get the green flag. As the Nick Cohan gets the jump into turn 1, Norm Pelletier down on the inside of Anthony DeBarro. Anthony DeBarro able to squeak by as they enter onto the backstretch. Good racing as they battle off the corner. Does Nick Cohan have the advantage here? We saw earlier he had the long run car. Does he have a short run car? Did he pump up the air in those tires? Did he adjust the brake bias appropriately? Can he hold off the 27 to Anthony DeBarro for 17 laps? On the long run, we saw Nick Cohan very, very quick. Anthony DeBarro started to really fall off the pace there, especially as they hit the lap traffic. And one guy to watch, that number 8 car, Thomas George, one of the best cars of the day. We believe Thomas George has 4 fresh tires on that machine. Can he do anything with it? Can he get up front? As we watch our battle for the lead now, the 21 and 27. They're off into turn 3. They come around to get 15 to go. Anthony DeBarro, is he afraid to use the bumper? He's close. No, he doesn't. But, man, there had to have been a sheet of paper between them. Caution. Caution is out on the speedway. Caution is on the speedway. It looks like Josh Cox has had an incident. Let's go back on the tape, see what happened. Here's Josh Cox, comes out of turn 4. Very similar to what we saw on the Jeff Coburn incident. Ew, and he almost had it gathered back up, and that was probably the best thing to do, was slam on the brakes there. Very similar incidents for Jeff Coburn, for Don Runkle Jr., and now for Josh Cox. Very similar incidents for all those. That tells me the track is very slick. Let's take a look at our weather. We see again, temperature has dropped another degree. So every time the track temperature has dropped and the air temperature is dropping, we are going to see the speeds get a little bit quicker. The cars have a little bit more grip, and maybe that's what's tricking these guys a little bit. They think they're feeling a little bit more safe than they actually are. If we take a look, we have 13 laps to go as we roll by under caution. And the question here is going to be, what can Thomas George do? Thomas George, we believe, has 4 tires, 4 fresh tires. You see Don Runkle Jr. in the 00. That is our lucky dog car. As you see him roll around past the pace car, and he will make his way around. Thomas George with those 4 fresh tires, and I believe the 17 and 86 behind him have only 2 tires. Norm Pelletier and everybody in front of him, Anthony DeBarro and Nick Cohan, our leader, all have 2 tires as well. So this may give Thomas George a big advantage. Unfortunately for him, what happens with these tires, they sort of go through heat cycles where they cool off, they sort of harden back up, cool down, and that allows those older tires to actually have some very good performance in them. And with that short little run, I'm not sure how much difference that would make. A little bit farther back in the pack, 14th place, we have Greg Gable, and Greg looks like he's going to be on a lap of his own by the looks of it. 1 lap back, 1 more caution, and Greg Gable will be our lucky dog position. That's one to keep an eye on there. Could use some pit strategy and maybe have some fresh tires to come back up through the field. Let's see if we can get a word quick here with Anthony DeBarro. Anthony DeBarro, this is Nick in the booth. Do you have a copy?
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. We all got one question for you. You got anything for him?
We're so close. I gotta have him mess up really to get by him, to be honest with you. So we'll see. I'm just hopeful to clear to 56 here and see what we can do. Maybe push him into a mistake, but it's just we're so evenly matched. The top 5 here. It's really going to be tough unless someone makes a mistake.
All right, well, it looks like the lights are off on the pace car. We'll let you get back at it. Hopefully we are able to talk to you with that 27 car in victory lane in about 11 laps from now.
We're going to send it, buddy.
All right, well, let's see here. Can he send it? The number 27, Anthony's Hog Control. Dizzy Motorsports Toyota Camry. What can he do with his teammate, the Shane Sunscreen Hot Shoe TV number 21 car? Pace car getting ready to pull off the speedway. Our field rolling slowly. Green flag. Nick Cohan. Huge jump on Anthony DeBarro. Anthony DeBarro is cleared to 56 like he wanted to. He gets down to the inside. And that allows Nick Cohan, Anthony DeBarro to squeak away. Thomas George now caught up high. Not where Thomas George wants to be. Gael Brooks in the 17 car has the inside. No! Thomas George, quick switch over there. Really drives it in hard. But that allows Norm Pelletier to take it nice and easy, roll through the corner, get a good run off as Thomas George slips up the track a little bit. Norm Pelletier loose. Very sideways. We saw that again. Guys getting sideways as they come off the corner. One to watch now, Nick Cohan, Anthony DeBarro, 9 laps, 8 laps to go now as they come off onto the front stretch here, the famous front stretch at the Milwaukee Mile. 8 laps. This is the length of a regular heat race with Pretend Racing Online. Anthony DeBarro's got his nose buried into the tail end of the number 21 car. We see Nick Cohan, Anthony DeBarro, slight advantage for Nick Cohan. As Norm Pelletier, big slip up back there. Thomas George has opened up the door. Norm takes the inside line, closes it off, runs very close to that wall, but that's not how you want to do it. Norm Pelletier opens up the gap for the number 8. Thomas George, no, he clears himself, but he was not clear. A little bit of contact there between the two competitors. That closes back in the gap now. Norm Pelletier losing spots, starting to drop like a rock here as he made that slip. There he gets very loose. And he spins out again, a classic spin out. We've seen that many times. He gets it rolling, but it looks like the caution has flown. Let's take a look at what happened. There it is again. Off of turn 4, that slick track, Norm Pelletier keeps it off the wall, but unfortunately not able to keep that car straight. We saw him loose a couple times. And what that allows, I believe, The number 96 Gables Tables machine should get the free pass here, if I'm not mistaken. It currently has Greg Gable in the 14th position. So going to be interesting to see what Greg can do here. I believe he gets the free pass. Can he make something happen in these last couple laps and get up into the top 10? There he goes, yes, Greg Gable. That will put Gregory Gable, the Gables Tables, DZ Cola, Nicky Nicky's Ice Cream, Hot Shoes, Chips, Jambrone's Chicken Dinner, number 96, back on the lead lap. Well, here's going to be our battle. We've been talking about Thomas George this whole race. Now Thomas George is going to be on the inside. We believe Thomas George has 4 fresh tires. What does he have for the Dizzy Motorsports 21 and the Dizzy Motorsports number 27 cars? Both drivers very, very strong. And it looks like we're going to have a green, white, checkered finish, folks, at the legendary Milwaukee Mile. We've seen greats like AJ Foyt, Mario Andretti, Elio Castroneves, Parnelli Jones, Bobby and Al Unser win races here. Which one of these drivers is going to put their name on that list? The Dick Trickle 99+1. Nick Cohan in the 21 car. Anthony DeBarro in the 27. Thomas George in the 8. Gael Brooks in the 17. John Borst in the 86. And Casey Miller in the 05 are our top 6 positions. Field now doubles up. You see them rolling slowly here. Sun is setting at the Milwaukee Mile. 2 laps to go. Tension is getting ready. You can almost cut it with a knife. You can feel the tension as our field meanders down the backstretch into turn 3 as we get ready for this restart. This will be a green, white, checkered. So we'll get the green flag, followed by the white, followed by the checkered. Who is it going to be? Is it going to be the 21 of Nick Cohan, the 27 of Anthony DeBarro, the 8 of Thomas George, the 17 of Gael Brooks? Could it be the 86 of John Borst? And they're off. Nick Cohan, big jump. You see, it looks like Anthony DeBarro was also cleared the number 8 car of Thomas George. That's going to be very handy to catch up. What can he do now as they enter the backstretch for the penultimate time? Nick Cohan has about a 2-car length advantage on Anthony DeBarro. DeBarro trying everything he can, everything he knows, trying to use all of his talent. He gets loose, he spins out! Big crash! Big crash! Big crash, Anthony DeBarro! Huge accident! They took the white flag though, so this is the final lap! Nick Cohan leads! John Borst in second! And Hondo Lawnmeyer in third! What's the finish? I believe they took the white flag. I believe they took the white flag there, so what is our final finishing position here? And yes, they did. It looks like they did, in fact, take the checkered flag. We need to go back and watch what happened on that final restart. That final incident. Let's see. And you see it there. Just Anthony DeBarro just... I cannot believe it. He gets off of turn 4, slides up the track, hits Thomas George, who drove through it. And just an unbelievable turn of events. Unbelievable. Only here at Pretend Racing online. I cannot believe what happened on that start. Oh my goodness. Our top 3. It appears that our top 3, if we look at our results: Nick Cohan, Thomas George, Gael Brooks, John Borst, Hondo Lawnmeyer with a top 5. Excellent run for Hondo Lawnmeyer. Casey Miller, Paul Nelson, Daniel Walker, Anthony DeBarro, Aaron Beaver, Josh Cox, Norm Pelletier, Don Runkle Jr., Greg Gable in 14th, and Alex Reno rounds out our 15th. Jared Michaud, Reed Rundle, and Jeff Coburn round out the field. Let's have a chat now with our top 3 finishers. Let's first speak to the number 17 of Gael Brooks. Let's see if we get Gael up in our broadcast booth. Gael, this is Nick in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, sir. How are you doing?
I am doing great tonight. Gael, tell us about it tonight. We know the finish was pretty crazy, but how was the rest of the race for you?
The finish was way better than I would have ever expected. But no, it was a really good race. I'll say obviously had the little hiccup at the very start, but then a really, really long green flag run. I went ahead and did my 4 tires there, and then again we had that really long green flag run till close to about 20 to go. And then I was like, all right, well, I did my 4. Let me try the 2 and see how it goes. And the 2 helped it rotate really well, and I was actually really happy with the way it was feeling after that. Actually, I think put one of my fastest laps down like with those 2 tires, so that was nice. And then the end, of course, it was definitely wild. It was a lot of fun racing with guys that probably not going to be frequenting with Nick and DeBarro and Thomas too frequently. So it was fun to be up there with those guys mixing it up.
Yeah, it was exciting to watch it, and it looked like a very tricky track tonight. We saw several incidents coming off of Turn 4, just like we saw at the end. Just tell us, how tricky is it to get off Turn 4 here at Milwaukee, especially when the track is nice and slick like it was?
Yeah, if you just couldn't be greedy on the throttle, which bites me a lot. So you just had to really really wait until you knew it was planted before you could stomp on it, because if you were too greedy too soon, it was going to step out on you. I think also just the way the track layout is, you kind of got that pit exit in 1 and 2. You can kind of cheat a little bit and help shorten shallow your exit, if you will. So 3 and 4, you got grass, so you can't kind of do the same over there. So that was what I was trying to really learn over the course of the race, was kind of the right line, because if you missed the groove and got out of the dark section of the track, it was just like you're driving on marbles and you weren't going to turn at all. So it was definitely a challenging one. I mean, these flat tracks always are, especially with cars as light as these are with so much power. So it was definitely a lot of balancing, especially with the throttle tonight.
All right, well, thanks for chatting with us, and great job on your run tonight. Is there anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
I gotta thank you, as say with Hot Shoe TV. I say it's pretty cool to see you get this up and running. I'm gonna be hitting you up soon, because I'm enjoying what you're doing, and I'm gonna have to watch this and learn a little bit from you. And then everybody here at Pro, these guys put on a really, really good league. So definitely want to thank Borst and all those guys to put this on every week. It's a lot of fun. And then I say selfishly, I got to thank the PMS teammates. So I had Norm and Don and the Goon Boys as well. So kind of in between teams over here at Pro. So definitely having fun with all these guys.
Excellent. Well, congratulations on your third place run tonight, and hopefully we see you up here again soon.
Sounds good, man. Thanks so much.
All right, now we're going to switch over to our second place finisher, the number 8 of Thomas George. Thomas George, this is Nick in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, good buddy.
Thomas, well, crazy finish out there. But tell us, what was your strategy at the beginning of the race? We saw you lose quite a few positions on that first pit stop. What was your thinking there with the tires?
4 was better than 2, which clearly it wasn't. Because Anthony and Nick were able to pull away from me after 20 laps, so I don't know. I kind of figured that was going to happen once that caution came out because I knew Amp had already kind of driven through the field, so I just had to do something different, try to see if it made any difference, which it didn't. I was able to get back up to 3rd at least, and before those last cautions came out, so that was a good run.
Yeah, it's always something interesting we see with the super late models in particular. Sometimes you can get very good rotation with just those 2 tires, especially at a track like Milwaukee, these bigger tracks. Those 2 tires seem to work well. Do you think you had anything for him? If that race stayed green, you think you would have been able to get up there and battle the 21 and 27 car?
I want to say yes, but I honestly don't. I couldn't tell you if I did or not. I felt I kept good enough pace, but I was hoping that the left side tires would fall off a bit more to where if people took the gamble on 2 again, I'd end up with the better tires overall. But I mean, I don't know. I've never thought taking 2 was the right way to go, but I guess with super late models, it's a little different. So I'll have to put it on the back burner for next race like this. And we led laps tonight, won a heat, got bonus points, increased the points lead that we have already. So it's going to be a good night. Just have to keep putting ourselves in position to win these races, and we'll get them. They just some people are faster than others.
Yeah, well, it was a pleasure watching you tonight. Do you have anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
Thank you to Milwaukee Tools coming on board for the Milwaukee Mile, Circle Jerks Podcast, DizzyMerch.com, Anthony's Hog Service, or whatever the heck he calls it, because I always forget the actual name of it. Good win to Mr. Nick Cohan, and a great 4th place finish for John Borst, who has some of the worst luck I have ever seen when it comes to this particular series. For him, for you, putting on the broadcast along with all the other admins.
All right, Thomas, great run tonight. Thank you for chatting with us.
Thank you, bud.
And finally, we need to talk to our race winner, number 21 car of Nicholas Cohan. Nick Cohan, this is Nick in the booth. Do you have a copy?
I got you, Nick. How you doing?
Nick, I'm doing great. Well, earlier today you were going to be up here in the booth, and you said, you know what? I feel like rolling the old super late model out of the trawler and racing the thing, and now you put in victory lane. Tell us about it.
Yeah, you know what? We got a last-minute offer from Shane Sunscreen, and just a deal you can't pass up to come here to the Milwaukee Mile, one of my favorite tracks. Thanks to all the people at Shane Sunscreen. Thanks to everybody at Disney Motorsports for putting this car together. It was a last-minute deal. Fell through for another driver. That's a shame, but worked out for us. Just took our time, as I always do. I just try and be patient. It's a long race, 100 laps here at Milwaukee, and just took care of the car, made sure it didn't get any damage, and as long as you're up in the top 5 here at Milwaukee late, especially with restarts like that, you never know what could happen, as you saw there in the last lap.
Yeah, one thing we found very interesting up here in the booth was on that long green flag run. Anthony opened it up to about a 3-second gap on you, and we were watching about 30 laps. Slowly, that 21 car kept creeping up. What's your secret that you can share about how you get this car to work on those long runs?
Well, I can't give away too many secrets, but the car just you just got to take care of the tires. That's all there is to it. And, there was a lot of time left. I don't know when we went back green, but I remember looking and thinking, man, that's a long way away. I mean, we didn't even get to halfway before, I'm pretty sure it was like only lap 30 or something when we took that green flag. So once we got spread out, I was like, I think this might be a long run. So I just took my time and just got through lap traffic at the right time. And, you just try not to slide the tires, try not to overdrive at entering, and, you just try and take care of it. And if you're patient, it's hard to do. I'm not going to lie. When the leader's 3 seconds ahead of you, it's so hard to sit there and be patient. But, it pays off. And I think if it stayed green, we could have had a good shot there at winning it like that. And I would have rather won it like that than winning it off pit road. But you got to, but it's a team effort. You got to thank the guys all here at Disney Motorsports for a hell of a pit stop there, putting us in better position for that final restart. So, worked out pretty well. But it's just it's a long race. You just got to take care of it.
All right. Before we let you go, Nick, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Like I said, for probably the third time now, thanks to all the guys at Shane Sunscreen. I'm hoping to have them on board for a couple more races. But next week, we'll be in the booth with you at Hot Shoot TV. Also, thanks to CJ Automotive, Perk Coffee, all the guys at Circle Jerk Podcast. You go listen to them on all your favorite podcast platforms. And Kohan Gold Film, of course, who has been a sponsor with us for most of the season here. So thanks to all those guys. And especially thanks to Hot Shoe TV. If you guys put on a great broadcast, I can't wait to be in the booth next week. I can't wait. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Nick, great run tonight. Congratulations on the win. And me and all of our fans are excited to have you sitting up here next to me next week at Lanier.
Looking forward to it, Nick. Thank you very much.
And with that, let's take one final look at our results. Nick Cohan is our race winner, followed by Anthony George, Gael Brooks, John Borst, and Hondo Longmire in fifth. Casey Miller, Paul Nelson, and Daniel Walker, Anthony DeBar after that tough luck in ninth, and Aaron Beaver in 10th. Josh Cox, Norm Pelletier, Don Runkle Jr., Greg Gable, Alex Reno, Jeremy Shaw, Reed Rundle, and rounding out our field in 18th, Jeff Coburn. And that's going to bring an end to another exciting night here on Hot Shoe TV. It was a wonderful night of racing action, and I thank everybody for tuning in, and until we meet again, good night. Racing down the short shoot now. Nick Cohen, no, wrong! Coburn! The bulldozer! Bum crash on the outside. Two drivers going for the real estate. 97 almost up on his wheel. And bum crash Charlie. Fourth and fifth position as they come.